The Wildcats lost Wan'Dale Robinson, but Mark Stoops believes this is his deepest group of wide receivers since he arrived at the University of Kentucky. That's because he's got a lot of guys, a lot of dudes. Wide receivers coach Scott Woodward is a rising star in the coaching ranks, and he's pleased with his talented young group so far. He believes he could have 6 to 8 guys that he could play right away today. Let's talk about some of those guys. First things first, the guy who's going to replace Wan'Dale Robinson, Tayvion Robinson. Should be a pretty seamless transition there. But to be good at wide receiver, you have to have 3 separate skill sets. You need to have a big guy, you got to have a slot with the ball in his hands that can make plays, and you got to have some outside speed. Tayvion Robinson is the prototypical slot receiver that runs good routes, that's elusive, that is not afraid to make plays in between the linebackers and the safeties where there's a lot of dirty work going on there. He's not afraid to shy away from physicality. If you watched him during his time at Virginia Tech, he actually got lit up in the Belk Bowl by Yusuf Corker. Absolutely destroyed him as a true freshman. A talented, proven pass catcher. This is his first year at Kentucky, but it might be his last because he is that good. Behind Tayvion is Chauncey Magwood. You expect Tayvion Robinson to be the leading receiver, but they get banged up quite a bit. Wan'Dale had some crazy durability, but you can't expect this Mr. Robinson to always be ready. And Chauncey Magwood is a guy now entering year 3 who played quarterback in high school. So it took him some time to learn the nuances of wide receiver play, but the dude has worked really hard on his body this offseason. He was a hair away from making a crazy catch in that final drive in the Belk Bowl. Folks are high on Chauncey Magwood. On the outside, it's a little bit less experience with the big guys. The big guys who you want to throw up, the Ahmad Wagner type, just go get a flag, Dorian Baker, go make those high point of football and make a big catch. Dane Key and Chris Lewis are kind of jockeying for that spot. Dane Key, we know him all too well thanks to our friend Ryan Lemon, but he came in this spring and has been outstanding ever since he stepped foot on campus, a consummate pro. What I really like about Key, it's not just that he can go up and catch jump balls like you see from some in the tight end room like Isaiah Cummings and Keaton Upshaw. He's fearless across the middle. You got to deal with a lot of, to keep him on your toes, you got to do those dig routes, to square it off at 10, 12 yards and get hit in the intermediate passing game. And he's really thrived in that since arriving on campus. Caught a touchdown in the spring game. He is the real deal Holyfield. He'll be rotating in and out with Chris Lewis, who was the Birmingham Athlete of the Year in 2021 as voted on by Al.com because he was a two-way star. One of the top receivers in the state of Alabama, also a star on the hardwood. But he admitted that he was just too skinny. He talked about it at Media Day last year as a true freshman, that he needed to gain weight to be able to endure the physicality. Earlier this week, he also said, Coach Cohen said, I just got to play bigger. I can't get knocked around and pushed around by these linebackers when going across the middle of the field. He's put on a bunch of weight. He's hit the weight room hard. He's learned the playbook like Magwood. He was a former quarterback trying to learn the nuances of receiver. And Woodward described him as the most improved wide receiver from last year to this year. On the outside, we do have a lot of experience. That's relatively speaking, of course, in this group. And then a ton of speed. Demarcus Harris has played a lot of football for the Cats. He really came on at the end of the year. He's put in a concerted effort to improve his play. He caught a little case of the yips early on last year, but he's grown into a reliable target for Will Levis. Behind him, it's just the fastest dudes around. Baryon Brown and Dekel Crowdis. Yes, Dekel Crowdis. You probably forgot about Dekel because he got injured before last season started. Now he's fully healthy after missing his first season, and he's going to be jockeying with Baryon Brown, competing with the true freshman to try to get playing time. They're both burners. They both can take the top off the defense to create those explosive plays. But Brown, he's that and so much more. They're going to do whatever they can and do things in a variety of ways to put the ball in his hands. One of the highest rated wide receiver recruits in school history. Baryon Brown is the real deal. It's all about showcasing those talents, and creating highlight plays. A former top 100 wide receiver. He is so talented but so inexperienced, and that defines this group. The quicker they get on the same page with Will Levis, the better for Rich Scangarello's offense this fall.